And we are live. Hey, everybody. And we welcome all of you across the country, Canada, brand new coaches that come on board. New coach out in Mexico, Steve Didier. Hey, welcome back. I want to give everybody a big shout out and happy holidays. I know a lot of times when people start this business during this time frame, they start looking at, what are the possibilities of what's coming up in the next couple months, January, February, March. So one of the things that we want to do today is share some things with you on how to build your business on social media and online. Also, on our last Thursday hangout, I had Tom Washington talk a little bit about how he built his business belly to belly. I want to talk about that real quick because, sometimes people in the older generations like myself and older, they get intimidated by the computer and they think that they got to build this business online. So I want to talk a little bit about building this thing belly to belly still, and also being able to build this business online, because there is no right way to build this thing. And also, as we all know, the girls in Beachbody are killing this thing. I mean, they're having some tremendous success. They're blowing through the ranks and having some tremendous success throughout the whole network. But again, what I want to tell people is half the population is men. So we have to make sure you still go after men. And that's why I put on my comment that men can build this thing too. Now, we're not going to be able to put pictures on Facebook and say, hey, follow me and stuff like that, because girls have a tremendous advantage from doing that. Because again, this is just the culture what Beachbody builds in. But when you're building this thing belly to belly, I truly believe you have to lead with the business. Online, it's harder to lead with the business because there's so many things out there that people are skeptical of what works and what doesn't work. But when you tell people online that you want to lose weight and you can help them or educate them when it comes to nutrition or physical, a different type of physical approach to help them lose weight, they're more likely to opt into any of those types of online environment because of the fact that they're looking for education. But when you meet somebody on the street, they're not looking for education. What you're doing is you're having a conversation with that person. So what do you have to do? You have to create rapport. Tom Washington brought up a point. I remember when we first started, I had 2 big boxes made of cards, and I used to give them out all the time. I probably gave out 1,000 cards, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't get one call back. So that was very enlightening to see that Tom doesn't give out his cards. He takes cards, because when you take cards, you're going to call that person. And that was something that really resonated with me, because I remember just giving out cards all the time. Nobody ever called me, and I wondered why. Because if you don't make that impression, they're not going to call you. Now, when you're collecting cards, you already have an agenda, what you're going to do, and how you're going to start a conversation. So it's really good for you to understand the power of 3-way calls and the power of you connecting with brand new people that you're approaching. Because of the fact that when you are building that relationship, where you first meet that person, you want to make sure that you leave that lasting impression. So when you call them back, you can say, hey, Gary, hey, I met you at the mall, and I remember asking you a question and you gave me your card. Chances are he's going to remember you. Now, don't collect the card and call 6 months later, because they're not going to remember you. It's got to be within a 24 to 48 hour window, because now what you want to do is build that rapport. I remember when we were in Mexico, we were at Eric Worre's event. I remember a gentleman who came on board, or he was speaking, and he talked about the power of creating friendships throughout the world. And what he said, he has his organization is about 100,000 people, and he says he has 100,000 friends. And what he meant by that is that every person that he talked to, he made him a friend. So when he collected cards, when he would collect the card, he would turn that card around and write down the conversation, what they had in common, or what the conversation was about. So when you call that person, they remember you. And then also what he was able to do is figure out and keep, that relationship going so that he remembered their birthday. Because what he did is he would friend them on Facebook, and then you could look up all that information so you know that they're a part of that, or you're part of that group. So that when his birthday comes up, he would post on there, hey, happy birthday, and that person would say, hey, who was that person? So again, what you're doing is you're creating relationships and you're collecting cards, but you're also following up. And we always talk about fortune is in the follow-up. I know last night we went out and a gentleman gave us 5 cards. I mean, he was really adamant about giving us cards. So, but the great thing about that is we were able to have a huge conversation with this gentleman, and he's been in Las Vegas for 24 years. Loves to talk. I mean, honestly, he reminded me of like Mark Canella. This guy was exactly like Mark. And I didn't even talk about the business at all. But what we did is I created a rapport with that person. So the next time I talk to him, I'm going to bring some stuff up. And this might not be for him, but I'm going to ask him, does he know anybody that would be interested in being an entrepreneur or starting his own business? Because I truly believe a home-based business is how you approach somebody when you're talking belly to belly. So what I'm going to do today, then we'll come back on board after Mel talks a little bit about what she's doing to build her business online. I know, because of the implementation and development of MDOT and the blog strategies and everything that we've done, this has been, we're in a unique situation with the UFT because you were able to see the long journey as this thing has been built out. And some people are very impatient on what's going on. And some people understand that the true concept of what's happening. The brand new people that come on board get it because they didn't see all the sweat equity that everybody went through this. But remember, if you give up at halfway point, that means you've given up or you're going to try something else that really isn't the value of what we're doing. The blog in itself, you should be paying between $50 and $75 a person for that. And now you're talking about technology, you talk about all the other stuff, and then also with the lead capture pages and all the other stuff that we put in there. I mean, this is really, really a mechanism that can help you grow your business online. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of the way, and I want you to give a warm applause to 1-star diamond, Mrs. Mel Batterman.
All right, how you guys doing today? We're gonna push the chair, and I don't think I can sit and talk because I can stand and talk all day long every day. So, I have a little PowerPoint presentation we're gonna go over as well to kind of go through some things, and then I'm gonna touch on each of the points that I have up there. So let's see. All right, so steps to your online success. So what we're going to cover today is knowing and creating your niche, however you'd like to pronounce it, knowing and creating your brand, establishing content, your own as well as what we have with MDC Dot, having a domain name and domain email and why those things can be important to you, having a blog and or a website outside of MDC Dot as well, and then using social media platforms, providing value, providing offers and value content. So all of these things we're going to touch on today. And I know Eddie, you had posted a couple questions, and I'll briefly touch on those as well as we go through this. So, plan, action, review. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard of that before. And that's really, really huge with what you're doing with social media, as well as what you're doing even the belly-to-belly conversations, because you can talk to those people, and if you're never doing anything or creating a plan or an action and reviewing what you're doing with those situations as well, that can be a problem. So when you put that effort in, your time and money are not wasted. It's not wasted. So you definitely want to be sure that everything you're doing, you're creating a plan for, you're working the plan you're creating, and reviewing it. Is it working? Is it not working? Don't just frivolously throw stuff out on the internet and never look at what it's doing again and just let that post go by. You should be reviewing those and going through and seeing, did that work? No. Well, you know what? It could not necessarily be the post itself. It could be a picture that didn't resonate. So maybe take the same post, change the picture, put it back out there, and now you've reviewed it, and change the action, and it could potentially, or vice versa. Change the post, keep the picture. So we are going to start with selecting your niche. So, or a few. This can be more than one. So what is that exactly? Examples, stay-at-home moms or dads, police officers. You can have recovering addicts. You can have recovering from eating disorders, weight loss. It can be something where you found that Shakeology helped erectile dysfunction or whatever it be, and you can create those things as a niche or several of them. So, or pets or horses or whatever, real estate, whatever it be, create things around the things that you either have overcome or that you like to do. You know, do you like to run? Do you like to mountain bike? Create those things. When you define that, you're now starting to define your target market. Because if you're going to go talk to a bunch of people that do something that you have absolutely no interest in, you're probably not going to resonate with what you say to them. And they're not going to then want to engage with you. So now you're starting to define that target market. And to take that one step further, create an avatar of that person. I mean, literally create an avatar. Put a picture in your head, then go find what that person would look like on the internet. Literally, Google pictures of people's faces doing things that you are trying to create your niche. Find what that looks like. And then literally write down what that person does, what they like. Because when you're starting to resonate that with yourself of who that person is, now it's putting it out into the universe and it can come back to you that way. And print the picture off. You know, make a little picture, put all the qualities of the people you want to work with. Because guess what? We're in a business that we didn't choose who we want to work with. How cool is that? I mean, there's times I'm out and about and I would love to start conversations. I'm like, there's not a single person in this place that I would talk to or want to work with. So I don't, you know? So that's the thing is you're now creating who those people are and who you want to work with, who you want to help. And so you have to create that niche. Because if you're just frivolously throwing information out, and it might be valuable information, but you're just putting it out there, and not really have anything that's bringing it back to something that you truly care about, you're missing the boat there, okay? So going right with that is your brand. What is your brand? Guess what? You're your brand. Beachbody is not your brand. Beachbody happens to be a solution that you get to provide to your niche and your market, but you're the brand. So what are you going to do to create a brand? Maybe develop a logo for yourself or a name. I know like Danielle used DMAC Health as your thing, and a lot of people did that. And so what is it that you are going to create? And once you're starting to create that brand, you now start presenting that to that niche, okay? And what you want to ask with the things that you put out there is, when the person's looking at it, are they going to go, what's in it for me? Does that resonate with me? Because that's honestly what it is. Because when's the last time you clicked on something that you didn't care about? Right. So there's something about a post, something about an ad, something about a picture that says, that resonates, what's in it for me, right? I see something that I like. So you have to put that brand out there. And if you're not consistent with that, who's going to want to really follow you? Because if you're saying, well, here's what my logo is today, and next week it's this, and here's what I talked about this week, but next week it's 5 other different topics, no one's really going to pay attention because it's not continually resonating and you're not building what could potentially be a whole other more market. Okay, so consistency in branding creates notoriety in your online marketing. All right. Establishing content. So I have the big magnet up there, and it's probably hard for you to see from maybe that it's people that are being attracted to that magnet. Because when you're providing valuable content, the people are going to come to you because you have something that's out there. You have the niche that you're working with. You have a brand that people are starting to recognize. Because pretty much, I mean, obviously Coca-Cola's been around forever, but everybody knows what Coca-Cola is. And their brand is exactly the same every time, or any other big major company. There's a reasoning for that. You can create that, and then through that, provide the solution to the people you're talking with. If you're a recovering or a person who's been overweight for a long time, and now you've had success with that, well, you're going to talk about being overweight and how you've overcome that. And you're going to provide them also other tools that show them what you use, what can help them. And the value is really, really important in your post, in that you're not just dumping, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. It's providing things. It doesn't have to necessarily be a Beachbody article. It could be something that you just came across that has to do with your weight loss journey or has to do with horses. You know, if you have a page that it talks about horses and you post all that all the time, then you sprinkle in things like maybe use the performance line because you take horses and you jump. And that takes a lot of energy, so you use that performance line. There's where your little drop in and your sprinkles are. But you're providing something that that person wants to continually come back and look and say, oh, well, maybe there's some more information on this or more information on that. And then document what you put out there. So if you're putting out posts, you should have some working document that has every post you're putting out. Because if you find something that works, you now can take notes by that in that document that says this is working. Or you can say, well, that absolutely does not work. Nobody really commented or talked or did start a discussion. Or you can know, you know what, we had a little bit of discussion. Maybe it was the picture that we're going to try it with another picture. But you have a working document, you know what you're doing. It goes back to that plan action review. You can learn and discuss what you're doing even with your team. And show them, hey, you know what, this really works. You might want to take this and use it. And research viral content. So researching viral content is if you know your niche and that's what you're working with, guess what? There's a lot of other pages out there that have that same niche, right? So go to those pages and scroll through their pages and see what they're doing. If they have posts that have 2 likes or 2 comments, maybe not one you want to grab. But if they have one that has 300 comments or 300 likes, that might be something. Now, I'm not saying copy and paste it into your page. Do not do that. But copy it, put it into a document, and word it in a way that looks like it's actually coming from you. And do not copy their picture and just put it into yours. You can copy their picture, but make some changes to it. But there's a lot of apps out there that you can use that put pretty little borders or whatever it is you want to put on them. But there's nothing wrong with simply adding your logo to the bottom of the picture or adding your website. Do something that makes it yours, because again, it's branding that to you and you're presenting that. And use the tools that we have. We have MDC.landing pages that when you're putting the content out that you are sprinkling those things and you have those to use. We have the funnels. You have campaigns. You can look at some of those campaigns and read through them, and maybe there's some words and phrases that you'd like to pull from there that you can use as posts as well. So you have a lot of tools there. And then we have dotcasts too. So that's for sending out emails. So when you have people who like your page or anything else, you can, as you're adding those people to your list, you can start sending out content value information. It could be simply whatever. You happen to write a little article about weight loss or about horses or whatever your topics are, and you can just simply share that. Or maybe you just want to cast out a quote of the day, because now you're engaging in another way that has interest. And guess what you do at the bottom of those emails? You now have something running back to your blog, something running back to your website, driving that constant circle. And your social media platforms, sharing things from social media, because guess what? You can share from Google Plus to Facebook, from Facebook to Google Plus, from Instagram to Facebook. They all cross. So if you're doing something and you have something on one, then you can say, you know what, I'm going to share this across this. And guess what? Your people start doing that too. Okay? And back to what I had already kind of mentioned, your brand, that they're at the bottom where you have to create videos, banners, written content, and pictures with your brand. Creating videos. You know, when you post videos, I don't know how many of you guys create videos, but don't be afraid of it. You pass my phone real quick. Or a phone. When you take a video though, don't do it this way. This is vertical video, do it horizontally. So otherwise you're gonna get those big black lines on each side. So always do it horizontally, and it works really well for posting. But when you're also putting your face out there, that's creating a relationship. Because if you're always just talking on your pages and you're not putting your face out there, they're like, okay, that's great. You know, Eddie and Danielle are posting all the time, and that's awesome. I have no idea who these people are because they've not posted one picture of who they are or what they're doing. So literally don't be afraid of it. I mean, I've taken videos where I have just literally finished running 5 miles. And I'm like, so, you know, and breathing heavy, but that's okay because then they're seeing me when I'm done doing something or, you know, whatever it be. But brand it to you, put them out there. And when you're posting on YouTube and then you share it also on your Facebook, you're now again generating this culture that's going to increase your personal your SEO, which is your search engine optimization. I don't know if any of you guys ever Google yourselves, but if you don't own the first 3 pages of your own name, that's where you need to work on that, okay? Because that's what's going to help people find you as well. So establishing well-rounded content to those pages is very important. Okay, have your own domain name and email. Now, this has been mentioned because it's important to have your own domain name and email just for MDC Dot, and I hope that those of you who have the MDC Dot account, that you have that. The reason being is it lowers your chances for being a spam sender because you're creating an email that's yours, okay, versus Gmail. If everybody in this room is sending an email that has relatively the same content and it's all coming from a Gmail account, then Google looks at that and says, oh, this is the same exact content, this is spam content. Versus, like mine is Amp Personal Fitness, and she has DMAG Health. Eddie, what's yours?
Yeah, Be Fit with Us.
Right, Be Fit with Us. Now, same content might be going out, but it's coming from different emails. So that helps you and doesn't end up in the spam folder because it's a different email, okay? So purchasing that domain name, you know, I use GoDaddy, you can use whatever platform you want, but you can set up an email right with that domain name. So I have info at Ant Personal Fitness. I have Embetterment at Ant Personal Fitness. So you have those different emails. And honestly, it's wise to not just get the .com, but get your net and info ones too. It's not that expensive to have them. Because if that's what you're going to use for your branding, and now you own those other ones, nobody else can buy them. They're yours. And I'm going to kind of get into why else that can help you here in a second. But it also looks professional. Because if you have an email on your card that's not just, like my personal email is mbatterman25@gmail.com, it looks a lot nicer, again, if your logo says one thing, and the email also says the same thing on a business card, right? So another good important reason. Then you can also push blogs to domain names as well as having the websites. That's getting a little more technical, but when you have a domain name under GoDaddy, it's actually fairly easy because if you go to amppersonalfitness.net, it actually takes you to the Getting Fit Together blog that we have. So I went into that domain name and you just literally copy your Getting Fit Together domain name, drop it in there and say that you want it to push there. So now people type in that. So now again, I'm branding exactly the same, though it's taking it to that. And if you have a blog on Blogger, you can also do the same thing. Because I have a blog, asknobetterman.com is my domain, but it takes me to a blog that I have. So you can absolutely develop that and push those over, which then creates more branding for yourself. And like I said, I know that's getting a little more technical, but it actually is fairly easy to do in GoDaddy, and you can ask them or ask someone else to show you as well, obviously where it's you and want to work together. But some important things that help bring up that SEO, and that's what I have right there on the bottom, is it helps create that stronger brand and increases your SEO, because if everything you're putting out is matching, that's increasing your SEO. People are going to find you a lot easier. With your Facebook pages, create those pages that, again, all tie back. Your Google ties back. Everything should constantly be this revolving internet intertwined thing that you're doing online. And having those domain name and emails makes you a lot more professional with all of your online marketing. So having blogs, websites, and landing pages. Well, first off, we have blog, microsites, landing pages. One of the things that I want to mention with this, because I know, everybody knows that there's a lot of other companies that offer some things like this. I can tell you from my experience, there is not something like this that we have that you can find elsewhere. And I'm going to bring up specifically automatic SEO because I know there's a lot of Beachbody coaches that use that. But the thing with theirs versus ours is when you look at your landing pages, your personal name of whatever, like mine is Amp Personal Fitness. So it's the landing page name / Amp Personal Fitness, right? So if you use things through automatic SEO, your name is first, and then it says .automaticSEO.com. So if you have everybody putting out landing pages and things from that particular company, and everything's always ending in automaticSEO.com, who's it really promoting? Think about that. Okay, so how that is also just something as simple as your microsites with MDC dot that have your name last versus having the MDC dot being last, and that's huge. And people don't think of those little things either. But now, when you're putting out automatic SEO stuff, you're absolutely promoting automatic SEO, and you're promoted second. Where with MDC dot, you're promoting you first, MDC dot second. Okay, so that's one really key thing to think about when you're looking at all the things. Plus, I can also tell you that the content that we're putting out is really, really looked at to keep the spam lower and all of those things where a lot of those other companies don't. It's just here's the content, use it, get it out there. So just a couple little tidbits I want to touch with that because our landing pages are great, and I don't know, hopefully you all are going in there and looking at them on a frequent basis so you know what they look like and how that works. I know there's 2 new opportunity ones that I absolutely love. So we have 4 opportunity landing pages in there, and number 3 and 4 I adore and use. And then creating your own website and/or blogs. Now that's an optional thing, but again, it drives what you're doing. And with your web page, you can set it up to be a nice little buy page where, again, things are pushing back. You know, Beachbody supplies us with all the links that you just simply add the SKU to the product and your coach ID to, and you can create direct links to every single product, every single one. And if you guys aren't educating yourself on this and using those tools, you're missing out. Because these are a lot of things that really work well online. And when you drop any link on your page, it brings up, and a lot of people I know, you guys see the 302 found from Beachbody. Well, guess what? You can actually change those words. If you click on the 302 found, you can write whatever you want. So you can put whatever words you want, and in the little description, you can click on that portion right below the title and change that to anything. And if it's on your community fan page, you can add whatever picture you want. Anyone, even when you're posting your blog post for the MVC.share. If you don't want that particular picture, you can change it. And it's on your own page. So post things to your page. If you want it to go to your personal page, you have that opportunity, your fan page, to change those pictures, and then you can get it up to your other page. But having those blogs, again, if you have a blog through Blogger, you have that .net or .info and all those other website domains as well that match up. You can forward those blogs to everything can be. This all you give out is whatever your little branding is. It's really nice. Driving traffic to your blogs and your websites via the content and landing pages. That is so important. You want it to be a constant flow back. If I click on something, it should take it back to me. If you click on something of mine, it should take you to me. It should, and then if you click on something different that's mine, it should still take you back to me. Everything needs to be a constant where they can never get away from me. And really, that's what it is. You should never, ever, yeah, and that's the thing. And so making sure that if you have a blog out there, that your social media is all tied to it. If you have a website, your social media is tied to it, because when they click, you want it to go back to you. And using, you have your Getting Fit Together blog. So if you have a website, your Getting Fit Together blog link should be there. And every email you send out, have those links with it, because you never know what they're going to click on. Okay. Tools to use. We have a lot. You have your MVC.landing pages. You have your funnels. You have your campaigns. Dotcast. Those, once you create that Dotcast, you can copy and paste it into a new Dotcast all the time. So you can create it. Hammer and Chisel came out. I sent out a Hammer and Chisel email to every contact in my MVC.day one. So I had over 300 emails go out, and all I had to do was type one email. glorious. And people are open, because it tells you. Okay? So use what you have out there. And again, all your other social media sites, and continue to create those videos. YouTube is owned by Google. It's all linked, so use those tools that are out there and don't be afraid of it. Using your social media platforms. Now, with your social media, do not use social media platforms that you have no interest in. Like, I have absolutely no interest whatsoever in that Periscope or what's that one you guys use? Snapchat and all that. Like, I have absolutely no interest to record a 6-second video and send it to anyone. It does not interest me. So for me to go then and try to use something like that, or Instagram, I have an Instagram account. I have 2 pictures on it. One's from somebody else, and one's one that I tried to post, and I apparently did, and I just, like, it just doesn't interest me. So whatever you are interested in, if it doesn't interest you, don't use it, because guess what? You're probably not going to post to it on a regular basis. And you need to, because you need to create community. You need to create that niche and that brand that you are putting out there. And to put something out there one day and then not do it for 2 more weeks, or like me, I did the one picture that I haven't touched it since, probably not going to have a lot of people caring about what I'm doing on that. So pick what you like. You know, I love Facebook. I'm getting a little better with Google+. I like it. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about it. But Facebook, I just love it. I love everything about it. It's so easy to use, and you can do so many more things. They just launched now a new lead ad program for leads, like ads, and it literally, on your phones, if somebody opens up your thing on there, it automatically populates all their stuff for them, and they don't have to type it in anymore. And they hit one button and it drops it in right back. It's pretty cool. So because I like Facebook, I'm like always looking and learning. I'm getting on webinars constantly that I see about social media stuff on the platforms that I like. So find the platforms you like and learn about them, and learn how to use them to the best possible capabilities that they have. Your fan pages. Create one for each niche. Have one that represents your general brand, but create one for each niche. If raising puppies is your niche, create one for raising puppies. If running marathons is your niche, create one for running marathons. So, because what you're doing now is you're creating communities, and this is the same thing you can do in LinkedIn with groups. Create different groups based on your niche. So you have your general LinkedIn page, but then you create those groups. Now remember, if you're creating these things, you have to post in them. So you have to then, again, going back to I like LinkedIn or I like Facebook, whatever it be, but making sure that you're getting there. Like, I enjoy LinkedIn a lot, and I've had tons of new leads come in from LinkedIn, and I post in there a lot, and that's one that I enjoy. So find the ones you enjoy, because as you can see up here, posting 3 to 5 times per day has to happen on those pages and on those social media platforms, because that's what is the bare minimum consistency, bare minimum. And that's what's going to start increasing the visibility of your pages to people and everything else. So if you're not doing that, you don't have that consistency, you're not going to get out there. So that's why I say find the ones you like. And on your pages, you can actually schedule your posts. Have you guys ever done that? Okay, so on your actual fan page, you can schedule every post. My personal fitness page, I schedule an entire week's worth of posts every Monday morning, because I'm like, I don't have time to get out there all the time. And so it post, and you just click on the little, right next to publish, where you would normally publish your post, there's a little arrow. You click on the arrow, it brings a drop-down box, hit schedule, you pick the day, you pick the time, done. You don't have to worry about it, okay? Yeah, and then of course, obviously, if you see something during the day and you do want to have them to share it, now you can just have another post on how the ones you're posting, okay? And you also have social share inside of MDC Doc too. So you can set up your social shares that way as well, because there are LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, I think, are the ones in there. So you can use that too. And then there's a lot of other platforms. There's Hootsuite, there's Postnet, there's a lot of different ones that you can utilize as well. But what's great is you can also connect your Twitter account to your Facebook fan pages. And when you link those two, everything you post on Facebook automatically goes to Twitter. So you conquer another whole bird without having to to do it. And you have those 3 to 5 posts per day on each of those platforms. So, and then YouTube, create great connections. I know like Danielle had done a video on being an at-home mom and working from home, and it was a really great video. And she has a lot of likes on that video and a lot of views on that video. So when you have those things that resonate, and again, post it up to YouTube, bring it over to each of your platforms, because now you're distributing. Because some people just do Facebook, some people just do Twitter, some people just do Instagram, whatever. But get those out there so people can see them, and not just on your YouTube page. And share those things in emails. You know, if you know you're emailing somebody back, for her, if she knows she's emailing back to somebody who's interested in the business and happens to be a stay-at-home mom, send a video. Hey, you know what? This is a video report. You might want to check it out. So consistency and value, create a larger online audience for yourself. Providing value and offers. So you're creating that community. I've touched a little bit on that. The more you continue to create and share that content, offer information that provides value. But the biggest thing is the value also needs to hit emotional chords. Okay? So if you're talking on mountain biking and you do a post on going over your handlebars, going down a hill, which happens, and you talk about that, guess what's probably going to resonate with a few people that follow your mountain bike page. And so, right, it's going to take them right back to, oh my gosh, I totally remember the first time that happened to me. Or I was going down this hill at 35 miles an hour on a brand new bike, nervous about it because it was a brand new bike, and then I went over the handlebars. And that story is true because I did that. Okay? And so, you know, or whatever it be. So finding different things to talk about. Don't just always talk about, yeah, I went out for my ride today, or yay, there's, you know, a brand new bike out. But literally think about all the different aspects of your niche. You know, with horseback riding, getting bucked off a horse, with real estate, you know, the ups and downs of it, or walking into a house and finding everything gutted out of it, you know, all those different things that can happen. Whatever your niche has, talk about all those different things, because every time you do that, it's going to resonate. Now, because you also have people that follow you already, and if they just had a friend go over their handlebars yesterday, and you posted this great little tidbit about going over your handlebars, guess what they'll probably do? They're going to share it with the person that they know that just went over their handlebars yesterday, because they're laying at home with their leg up, or the person that tears their Achilles playing softball, right? So with that, though, you have to track the work you're doing. Back to plan, action, review. Everything that you do, you have to go back to and track. You can't just continue to put it out there and put it out there. You know, there's days I put a post out and I'm like, holy cow, I have over 150 people look at it in 30 minutes. And then there's other posts I put out there, I don't have a single person look at it all day. Well, guess what? One I'm probably going to maybe try again, and one I'm not going to do. You know, and that's why you have to continue to work that and make working documents for yourself. And when you're sharing links and doing that, versus always having to go back into MDC dot and pull a link, or recreate the direct link with your coach ID and the particular product SKU, guess what? You can make a working document where you just go copy, paste, done. Now you made yourself more efficient. And every time you're doing that, you have more efficiency, which in turn decreases the amount of time to which you have to put in to operate your business, but you're still getting returns, right? Because that is the name of this game, correct? Okay, all right, just checking. I mean, I know I've heard some people like, oh, I work 60 hours a week, and oh, okay. So creating that community, always being consistent, it really is going to make your market larger, because people are going to get to know you, and that's what you want to do. And when people like your things or comment on your things, thank them. A lady shared one of my posts. It was actually on the Black Friday specials. She shared, I have no idea who this woman is, and I thanked her for sharing it. She said her share was, please support small business. How cool is that? You know, because it was Small Business Saturday. And so I just said, thank you for sharing this. And she said, absolutely. You know, but now I can have a conversation. I haven't had a conversation with the guy. Again, I have no idea who he is. He lives here in Vegas. He teaches jiu-jitsu. And he had friend requested me a while back. I accepted it. And I follow. I like his stuff. I've been liking his stuff. Him and I have had a couple of conversations. I've talked to him about coming to the office a couple times. It hasn't worked out. But then I see a post this morning that he has had this injured shoulder now for the past 3 weeks. He's tired of the politics of the gyms, and he's going to hang up his jiu-jitsu training or teaching instruction, and is looking forward to doing something else. Well, guess who sent him a message this morning? I sent him a message, and I simply said, sorry that your shoulder's still out of whack, or whatever I said about it. And then I said, I completely can empathize with the politics of gyms and all of that, and I completely understand. If you'd ever like to grab a cup of coffee and just chat, let me know. But yeah, as I said, that's why I chose to work for myself. I did put that in there too. So if you'd like to grab a cup of coffee, let's chat. And yes, you went to Western. So those are the things that you can do, is definitely always communicate with people. And worst case scenario, they're gonna be like, okay, this person's weird and I'm not gonna talk to them. Because what's gonna happen, they're gonna talk to you, who cares? Right? So, oops, let's go back. So with UFT, we are lucky to have all the tools that we have to build our business. And not just online, but to build it when we're out talking to people. Alice went to a function the other night and had nothing but glorious things to say about it. She had a blast. She has half a dozen business cards, and it was a small group, and 2 of them are chiropractors, and it was great. So finding different things, he talks about it all the time. Just talk to people. In worst case, they're going to look at you and go, okay, that person's weird, I don't want to talk to them. And who cares? I mean, really. So, there's a kid pushing carts at the grocery store the other day. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he just looked at me like, oh my God, somebody's talking to me. But guess what? This society can use a little of that. So why not? And if you haven't been on this site lately, I would suggest doing it. We have a lot of training. We have a lot of things that will help you. And guess what? If you're operating your business, it's probably good to check in every once in a while and remind yourself of everything that A, we have here with UFT, but B, what's there, how your business is operating, what you're doing, learning and growing and seeing what you can do. And there's a lot of online stuff in there too. I'm training for social media. If you haven't watched Social Media 101 in a while or ever, probably should take a look at it again. And knowing your products and going through even the Beachbody site. And, like I said, I had done internet marketing and online marketing for real estate agents when I first moved to Vegas. And the tools that were available for me to use with them, which are still available to use for a lot of people, this beats it. It just does. For the cost, it does beat it. And when you're putting stuff out there, if they click on your thing and then they don't do anything with your stuff and then they go and click on something else, guess what? They're still tied to you. So they can click on yours and then go and click on mine, it's still going to go to yours. And that's what's great, is it's fingerprinting, where if you're using some of the other products that a lot of the Beachbody coaches use, that doesn't happen. It's not fingerprinting like that. So why wouldn't you want to put out stuff that no matter where that person goes across and clicks on another thing, it's still going to resonate right back to you because you're the first person. That's huge. And then lastly, this blog right here. Share it. There's buy buttons on there. It talks about you. There's articles on there. There's been a lot of articles on holidays, and we're in the holiday season. Share those things and share it everywhere. Don't just share it because it's a part of what we're supposed to be doing. Share it because you want to. I mean, I share on my stuff all the time. We have a newsletter that goes out of my office because my personal training studio is inside a chiropractic office. This is the chiropractor's newsletter. Guess where I'm sharing those articles? And guess where I have most of the opens? So, and talk to other people that send out newsletters. You could say, is there a way that maybe we can collaborate and I can put some content into your articles? Because guess what? They may say, yeah, absolutely. Those are some great articles I'd love for you to share on. And you provide the link with it, done. You now created a whole other avenue. So think about that. You can collaborate with people. And then finally, you have to capitalize on the tools. You have to capitalize on the tools. Tools are not going to do it. You knowing it and doing nothing with it is not going to help you. Okay? It's just not. As much as, and I get questions all the time, and it's the same questions over and over and over again. If I'm answering the same question to the same person, do you think they're probably utilizing the tool? No. You got to utilize it. You have to get it out there. And If you don't have the knowledge, you have to seek it out. And you have to use the resources. Find a mentor. Okay? Find somebody that you can work with that would help you. And we're a team. Work with other team members. Okay? And ask questions about that. But be the CEO of your business. And I really liked this, which is why I had to put this up here. C, control your calendar and your time. E, educate yourself and be proactive. O, opportunity focused and goal orientated. All of these steps help your business and help your online success. So you have to do that. So that's it with that part. I want to answer your couple of questions that you had said about words that, and it really ultimately it's again creating that niche, that brand, and following through with all these steps. It really is. And having a working document. He had asked what works for me, but what works for me isn't going to work for you per se. So you have to start developing that presence. You have to build that brand. You have to build the niche. Create all the pages for the things that are interesting you. Now, if you only have time for 3 interests, then do 3 interests. If you have time for 1, do 1. If you have time for 10, great. That's all dependent on what time you have. But find the words and make that document.
Okay, something good. So say, for instance, I'm pushing the landing page for 21-day fix or a 3-day refresh.
Mhm.
I'm putting it on my fan page and I want to boost it.
Okay.
That's kind of my question there. What type of keywords you add to hit up, some
Everything.
marketing?
Everything that's related to that. When I put something out there, all my keywords, I tag Beachbody. I tag Shakeology. If it's a 3-day refresh, I would say 3-day refresh. If it's 21-day fix, I say 21-day fix on calories. You just go portion control containers. Anything that has to do with anything you're posting, you keyword it that way. Everything.
And one thing that you might want to focus on, and I know we just thought about that, is having a niche of sick and tired of your job.
Mhm.
See, that could be a good niche for you because you're at your job and there's not and you're sick of it. I mean, not because it's not a good job, it's a good job. But people want to get out of that job. That could be a really good niche. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah. There's 1,000 other niches. Military. If you're a person who's just getting out of the military, or you're in the military, and you know a lot of people that are like, "This is not for me. I want out." Then, but you've helped people. Then there's a niche. People who want to get out of the military and do something different, or people who want to stay fit while they're getting out of the military, because Lord knows you have a lot more physical activity there than you might afterwards. Whatever it be, or police officers, or fit to fight, whatever it means, whatever you want to name it, but creating the different things, if it's Sunday morning basketball at 60 years old, or whatever it be.
Beer.
Yeah, it can be about beer. It doesn't have to be about fitness. It could be, exactly, no, seriously.
Yeah, no.
Beer is great. Beer connoisseur. How to pair beer with food. I mean, that could be your niche. It doesn't matter. It can be anything you want it to be. Absolutely, anything. So don't think it has to be related. You can tie everything back.
Say you're posting 3 times a day,
Mhm.
and you're saying you're scheduling that. Are you repeating any posts, or is that a unique post?
Unique,
Everything
unique every single time. But you can have the same link when you sprinkle in the opportunities for links to be clicked. It can be the same link, different content.
Well, otherwise you said changing the picture and changing.
Well, yeah, if you notice, but always changing some sort of words, because anything that you're doing and putting out there, so whether it's YouTube, wherever, it doesn't matter. At least 75% of what you put has to be changed for it to resonate as something new. Otherwise, it will never increase your SEO rating. So 75%.
You address also coaches out there that just share articles
Yes.
and don't share anything else. Nothing on Facebook. It's all about buy.
Yeah.
Sure.
About stop sharing.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so, sharing the articles you're talking
Right.
with the blog, sharing those, just to share them, and don't just share it, but talk about it. Make something that you're saying that's valuable. I forget which one I shared just recently, but I started out with, yeah, it might have been the 5K one, but 5Ks are the most popular sporting event in this country. most popular. So if you don't know something per se after, you can obviously you want to read the articles which you're sharing, because that will help you write what you're writing about, so you should read the article, because too, you're also going to get questions about the article. But if you still don't have something to post with it that is going to resonate with your people, then just do a little bit more research and take a second to do that and post. But it shouldn't be about, here's what I'm talking about and buy from me, or it's taking those articles, but everything in those articles are coded to you. It's coded to you. So everything that it clicks, and again, you can take those articles and do more with them. Just because right now we don't any longer have to post to Blogger, I still post the articles to my Blogger every time. Every single time. And then I have a few other platforms that I've had for years that I also post on too. Because the more you do, the more it's out there. So if you're new, you can grab those articles and post them. If you aren't at this huge, massive, I know all this stuff about the internet, at least start there. Start there and post it, because it's available for you to do. And have an MDC account. If you're serious about this business, have one. Have it, because you track everything and it talks back to you, which is so cool. I don't ever have to remember who I have to call back, because it tells me. I get an email every single day. Here's the list. Sometimes the list is this big, sometimes it's this big. It just depends on the day. And you get to then utilize that as well to remind you. I have people that I'll post date out 3 months because it's not the right time, or they're not talking to me, or whatever it be, and then I can just simply send a check-in. And using that Doccast is huge. Like I said, I send over 300 emails in less than 10 minutes by using that. So you have a lot of tools, but that blog is huge. It's yours. Everything that they click on is yours. And when you share it, they're yours. That person is yours forever, no matter if they click on 100 other people with their blog. It's yours. It's a great tool. Anything else?
Let me ask you a question. So, if I've been doing this all wrong and I didn't know the right answer, I just do short, quick videos on my phone that's pushed out to Facebook and a few other places. Would you recommend dumping them into YouTube first and then dumping them into Facebook?
It doesn't matter which one's first, but do both.
Do both.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I do mine to Facebook, and then I may upload it afterwards, or sometimes I do it vice versa. The thing with Facebook, like if you always post it separately to Facebook, then pull it from your YouTube and pull it if you're going to post it to Facebook. And you can definitely pull it from YouTube as well. But when you do dump those quick videos in there, it'll rank faster in Facebook than if you pulled it from YouTube and just posted it. But again, posting in both, because they're all intertwined. Because obviously Google reads Facebook too, but Google doesn't own Facebook, where Google owns YouTube. So posting in YouTube first and then posting to Google Plus, definitely, because it's 2 platforms owned by the same company. So, and that's the same when you're posting them into your Blogger or anything else, anywhere you put them. So, anything else?
I have
Yes.
a question now. Outside of using a mentor, are there any tutorials available online to educate yourself to what?
Yeah, you can just Google whatever you want, you'll find it.
Just Google it.
Yep, absolutely. YouTube has one. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. You just got to make sure that you find somebody that. Yeah, and exactly, the UFT training, there's a lot of that social media stuff in there. And even on MDC Dot, if you don't know how to operate your MDC Dot, there's little things you can click on right in there, and it either is something you can read, or there's videos, plus they have all their help stuff too. But utilize all those tools. You have MDC Dot training, you have social media training in UFT, but you have to take the time to educate. Everything that I know, I taught myself. Nobody taught me. I took the time to hunt the information down, because if I don't know it, I will know it. And that's how you have to be. And does it happen great the first time? Absolutely not. You have to practice and practice and practice. Nobody shoots 10 free throws in a row without ever shooting free throw. So.
There's one site that I've used that's helped me. It probably sounds crazy. Anyone go to lazyassstoner.com?
No, I can't say I've been to that one.
Go to that,
Okay.
and he's all over YouTube.
Uh-huh.
This kid's really, really sharp.
Sounds like a niche.
It
Right,
is.
yeah.
But he teaches all the different social media venues, all the different avenues, and he's really, really good at it.
LazyAssStoner.com. For those of you who are not here in the office today,
Go
check
look
for
at that one.
You'll find Gary's picture up there.
Right, yeah.
No, you'll find this kid. I mean, he's a kid, but he's so sharp. It's unbelievable. And I mean, you got to see this kid in action.
So, all right. Well, that's all I have. Hopefully that helps you a little bit to get you going for the new year.
Awesome.
And don't wait until January 1st to get yourself ready for this stuff. Start now. You know, day one was December 1st for Hammer and Chisel. What have you put out there? And always be thinking ahead. What's coming next? We got new Shakeology coming out, I think, at the end of January. Then 22-minute hardcore is coming out in March. Think ahead. If you're not thinking ahead, you're missing the boat. So, and create your stuff.
Mailbag. Hey guys, I want to give you just to wrap this thing up. You know, we were just talking about this is we're going into year 9 of Beachbody. At the end of this year, Beachbody is projected to be at $1.4 billion. Think about where you're at right now in your organization and where you want to be. You know, I truly believe 2016 is going to be our biggest year. Now, I say that because I know what I have in place and what I'm doing online and what I've had to educate myself. So many of you that are stuck or you are struggling or have to figure stuff out, go through the training. I had to do it. I had to learn from the beginning. But again, don't forget what I talked about in the beginning. This business is also about relationship building. Once you establish that relationship, you got to get to know these people and get into their warm market, because this business is truly about warm market. How to build your business and how to sustain a business. Sure, you know, if you don't like the limelight and want to be in the top, 1% of the company as far as selling challenge packs or whatever the case may be, you can build this business one person at a time, like I've always talked about. Build residual income, build it at your own pace, learn these simple process, and build the same way. Because ultimately, remember, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. 5 years from now, where do you want to be? 3 years from now, 2 years from now, that decision is based on what you want to accomplish. All you brand new coaches that have come on board and you see everything that we're doing, we have positive feedback, everything is right. For those of you that are doing other things, if you're not having success, you got to plug in and figure out what these people are doing, because we're on the right track and we're moving forward. So I want to thank all of you for being on our call. We will see you in the first week of January again, and have a Merry Christmas and have a great holiday, and we will see you next month. See you, everybody.